Okay, good morning. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. It is, let me minimize this and move this. It is, what is it? It is Thursday. Wow, I'm getting slow. 12/7. My dad's birthday. May he rest in peace. So, good morning. Let's get started. Let's do a quick review of yesterday. I'm going to run a little bit past the open. Just so you know, for you on YouTube, it is delayed. It's 3 to 5 seconds. There's not much I can do about it. This is more to teach you what we do in the room than it is for you to trade live with us. And I run it for the first hour. If you look at the beginning of the video, you'll see where if you'd like a 5-day pass to the room, hit me at TRADEnPERFORM@gmail.com, and I'm happy to set you up in the room. Okay, so I just purchased an Apex account. My plan is to qualify it and see how I feel trading live in front of everybody where they can actually see my position. I'll put that somewhere on the screen over here, probably in the lower right hand corner. And there that is. They finally put it together. So let's do this. It's not showing up. Let's see if we disconnect and connect. There we go. And we will. So let's do this. I don't want to post my personal information on there. Okay, and oops. And here, let's shorten this up. And then let me fix my DOMs real quick. So here, let's make this smaller and like this. And here we don't need this part either. Close that down. And like I said, this is we'll qualify it and then we'll trade it. So we'll stick it right over here. We'll scrunch up ES's location a little bit. Oops. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, we'll do this. Oh, you have to leave it like that. Okay, we'll just leave it like that. And then we'll just, I didn't know that. That sucks. I'll just flash it up here. How else can I do this? I didn't think this part through. I don't want to scrunch up screen time. So if I do this, if I take this and just stretch it out like this. I leave this at the bottom, and then I just inch this up. Dang it, I didn't want it to go full size. I want to park this right down here at the bottom like that. And then we'll punch this right down like this. And you can see the account balance go up and down, I think. So we'll try it that way, and we'll see how it works. Let me just reset this really quick. And if it causes too much of a problem, we'll just get rid of it. And that is what we'll do. So let's adjust this. Drag this over. And then reshape this. Okay, so there's a few people that are struggling in the room. And so the goal on this is going to be to show you how I get extensions. So it's a 150K account. I'll trade between 2 and 4 contracts in it. And the majority of the trades will be coming out of the 4th channel. And then the last thing I've got to do is I need to adjust my trading dome. So hold on one second. Let's go. Okay, and we're in business. So you'll see the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, so let's get to it. First of all, obviously, let's go mark off the key areas. And first of all, let's take a quick look at what the market did yesterday. And then we'll see how this little experiment works. Right? I may hate it, I may not. Today's 12/7. I need the 6th. Let's make sure I'm on 3 days. I am. Okay, there we go. So, what you will notice from yesterday is, first of all, this is the open, right? This was prior day's high, right? This is the low from Tuesday. Today's Thursday. Okay. And then that's the afternoon low, and then this is prior day's low. Okay, so when you squeeze that all together and you look at what the market did, we'll just scoot right over, and you can see, finally makes it to the afternoon low. So see when it got to the afternoon low, okay, a ton of traders are watching that prior day's afternoon low. You can see they try to save it right there, got underneath, formed a head and shoulders. There's left shoulder, right? Supernova, backside test, orange dot down, off to the right hand side. Okay, trap back into afternoon low, and then so all of that took place afterwards, right? If you look going into the close, right, we came in. You'll notice each time they broke the look at things that you can notice that don't require you to be as spot on or totally expert, right? So if you look, they break a swing, right? Swing, 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 attempt to break the swing, swing, break the swing, swing, break the swing, right? Those will all develop apex traps if they're close, like this did over here. That was an apex trap into an orange dot there in Asia, right? That's the first thing to notice. The next thing you'll notice is yesterday when you look, notice we opened and we started with an open drive lower, right? Right into prior day's high, and we bounced, unable to make a higher high, right? Come back in, break down underneath yesterday's low. This is I know this chart's going to get sloppy, so here I'll erase it. Right. So you'll notice from the 643 where the trade got in trouble is if you take your retrace, draw it to the high, and as I said in the market preview, if we get a clean close underneath that 62 retrace, it's not healthy. And that's for any open drive higher or trend up. You really don't want to get underneath the 62. You can apply the same concept to this morning's concept and idea. Hold on one second. I'll see one thing. Okay, perfect. Yeah, it's doing it the right way. And then let me hold on one second here. I want to there's no place to post the stream, so I'm going to do that really quick with, let me do that. Do that really quick with this. Let's get the And then let's go over here. This. Okay, and there we go. Minimize this. So you'll see once we broke the 62 retrace on the way up, right? Notice lower lows, lower highs, all the way through the downside, right? When you figure out, hey, one way or trend down. Usually when we rip, we're going to rip this right out of the gate, right? Right at 9 o'clock, they're going to get above and come back and retest the high. At 9:30, you end up with IB low, right? Here's 9:30. I know I have a ton of lines on this, but this ends up being IB low right here. Okay, and if you'll remember, I keep drawing these 50s, 60s back. So you see we break IB low at 1040, immediate response, first response, second response, right? Then they tried it, then third time, still can't make a higher low, even on minor swings, right? Get underneath, backside test the IB, consolidate there in the afternoon, can't get back above, and flush below prior afternoon's low. Everyone pushes to break prior day's low. You trap the shorts in on the low, finally go supernova, establish a clean higher low, right, off a swing, and then they push up through European session, right? So now we're going to clear all that out. And then the other thing I want to show you is eventually, even though they didn't do it in the US session, let's clear out all the lines here so we can get rid of this. Hold on one second. Erase lines. There we go. And let's delete all these lines. Delete. Yes. No, actually, no. Here. So now we start over again. So for the US session, which is the highs that I'm concerned about, right? This is yesterday's. Let's erase all these. There should be a faster way to do it. I will get it streamlined. There we go. So this is yesterday's open, roughly. So that makes this the high. I don't even need a profile chart for this, right? I do need to be able to grab this line and move it, however. It's locked. So I'm going to mark that off as the high. I may be off by a tick or two. It doesn't much matter. And then this is the close. 14, roughly there, right? So right click, lock line, right click, copy and move. That is prior day's low. There's obviously a Globex low right below that, right? The afternoon swing high, which is now what I'm concerned with since we closed down. I'm going to go back to New York lunch, which is right over here, roughly, right? And that is the afternoon swing high. That is what bulls will want to stay above, and that is what bears will want to get back below, right? Let me unlock this. We just opened, obviously. I'm not going to worry about the first 5 minutes anyways. That's the afternoon swing high, right, at 11 o'clock. And you can see they just got above it, took out the stops, and they're trapping back in over here to the right. Okay, so this doesn't mean anything to me. Okay, and now we come over here. And you can see we're making higher highs and higher lows. Now, what's every retail trader in the world going to do? Oh, we're going to open up and drive lower just like we did yesterday. So those guys are likely to get jammed. Why? The market rhymes but doesn't repeat identically day over day very often. It can, it just doesn't, right? Next, from the low to the high. just so I know where all the other retail traders are looking. This is Glovex low. This is the high, right? The other place I don't want to get behind is 15,847. It's an easy mark, right? That marks a failure of the 50 retrace. And then obviously the other area that's very interesting is this consolidation where they tried to reverse it yesterday and they could not. The other thing I'd want to know from that area is, well, don't worry about it. Just this area right over here is the other location where I would look for support. And shockingly, that area of support comes right at the 50. The middle of that is the 50 retrace of this move up. So look for an attempt to respond back to the upside somewhere in this general area. Now I can do all of that without my profile chart, and I have a pretty good idea of high, low, and what different traders are targeting, right? I did not look at the econ this morning, so I'm going to take a second to look at it. And we have December 7th. I don't know, Gregory. I would email them and ask them. But if there is, you know the way that you handle that, Gregory, just to make sure there's not a problem? I don't think there is, actually. But if there is, just go in and do one micro and buy it and sell it in 1 second. But I didn't think there was a requirement that you traded once a week. And there's everyone who shorted it, who tried to get the reversal like yesterday morning, getting bone crushed, right? Pretty, and you'll see orange dot down, got over the point of control, immediate squeeze. Makes perfect sense. Let's go over here. Yeah, you have to trade 7 days. No, it's not, Tasia. You have to trade you have to trade 10 days to get a withdrawal. Excuse me. You have to trade 10 days to get a withdrawal. But that trading, thanks, Ed. That trading just has to be like 1 micro is all you have to do on that, Gregory. And I still don't have enough focus to get to today's numbers. We have 9 a.m. Elderson from ECB is speaking. And then at 9 o'clock, we have wholesale sales, and that's it. And then we have U.S. consumer credit at 2 o'clock. I won't be here to trade that, so I'm not worried about it. And that's it. It usually argues for balance, and we should have some good setups today. So next, someone was asking me, well, what are you looking for? So here, we just had it this morning, just not at the 4th channel. So the most ideal place to get a trade is beyond this for the longs, right? The only thing you have to watch out for is, are we in hard trend day down, right? So if you look where we are on the chart in general, here's NQ. I've not updated the charts. I'm obviously going to have to do it earlier now. But if you look where we're trading right up into unfair pricing. Here, let's just reset this. So we're inside yesterday's range. Prior day's high. You can see we came out of the single prints yesterday, by the way. Right? So into the single prints. We closed in the single prints. But you can see those single prints are really important. Right? So single prints just come down here. Actually, they start right here. Prior day's low, right click, copy and move. Prior day's low. This becomes orange to indicate that it's a low that's been untested and more than 24 hours old. Or prior days. And then here's yesterday's high. Oh, I already have it marked off. And then unfair pricing, which I'll just shade. And then this is gone. And then this is gone to give me my point of control from the prior day. It's right here. And you will see once again we are still inside this lovely 30th and 1st where we just swept the range through there. So anything's possible in this area. They're trying to fix it, right? But I'd really just rather get away from those 2 days. But it'll do what it'll do. Color. Let's see if we can get a darker color. so it's not so bright. I start with this, and let's just put it all the way down. There we go. Okay, okay. Oh, that's the outline, but that's fine. Fair enough. That's the prior day's POC. Okay, that's the hardest place on this whole chart to trade. It's probably the move back in. 9 o'clock earnings, and then we have single prints, which would be the best place for my guys who like to short. If we can get up in here and you get the setup, that is the most lovely place to attempt to get big fat reversals for those guys who like to short. And you can see we did the same thing from down here from the prior day. It took a lot of patience to wait to get down there, and it was all after hours, pretty much outside of that little bump with 15 or 20 minutes to go, right? And then the next area is up into this 16,128 area, okay? And then the white area, that's the mid of the half gap. You can see everyone pushed for that mid of the half gap and they failed. And look at the ricochet back the other way. That's still a juicy area. They just could not get there. So enough of that noise. And so what am I looking for specifically today? Okay, very, very simple. And I can show you because it just happened. So where we are, so who asked me yesterday? Two things I wanted to address. Dylan. Dylan asked me about the first half hour. Dylan said that, Dylan, are you in the room, buddy? I want to answer your question if you don't mind me doing it publicly. No, I'm using it, Ronnie. It's all good. It's all good. I'm using it and testing trades with it. I need it. So Dylan asked, he had taken a stop in the first half hour. So Dylan, what you're really asking is, can I trade in the first half hour without taking losses or not? So the easy answer for that is skip the first half hour. Why? Why is the first half hour? So the first half hour is really mentally tough on almost everybody, right? It often offers the best opportunity to make a lot of money really quick, but also offers the best opportunity to get smoked really quick, right? So I have two suggestions on that, Dylan. Right. So Dylan, what I suggest is you just take one setup per setup, cut your trade size down to one contract, and try to push that one. Or, if that throws you, completely wait until after the first half hour where it's, in just my opinion, much easier, right? Also, just to be clear, and I didn't cover this, we're in trend up technically, even though we're still inside the range. Here. So the easy way for guys who want to short, right? So when will we get two-sided trading? Look, it's been since 6:15. Have we been able to close underneath? No, no, no. So this was the last full bar up. Here, let's erase these lines. We do it like this. Up bar, no close underneath. Up bar, no close underneath. New high, new high, new high, new high, new high. Right now, this is what we have to close underneath, and if this sets a new high and this bar closes, you either have to close underneath here or at the end of this 15-minute period, right? I agree, and I think from a making money consistently standpoint, I don't think you need it. When the market first breaks out, it's great in that first half hour, but once it gets longer in the tooth, it's hard. So the simple answer for you, Dylan, you like consistency. Wait till after the first half hour is done and make sure you're not an open drive higher or open drive lower. So we either need underneath 15,923 or 15,907 to break this pattern, which we haven't been able to do since 3 in the morning, right? And just because it breaks doesn't mean that it's going to reverse, but at least it starts a two-sided pattern. So that's my 2 cents on that. And if I were going to do it in the first half hour, I would do it with, in those Apex accounts, one contract, and I would take a maximum of 2 stops, so I'm only down net 1 stop and can still recover for the rest of the day. But if it pushes, hey, that's great, and I pad with a little bit of money. You know, most of y'all are only trying to do $500 to $1,000 a day, right? You don't have to constantly jump in there. As the closer we move towards Christmas, the thinner this thing's going to get. So now let's go to the setup that we're specifically looking for, right? Still cleaning up these charts. Where's this coming from? This is coming from over here. So if someone in the room can keep up for when we break these 50 retraces, I'd appreciate it. So this is what I'm looking for. And we just got it this morning. You had to be aggressive. It was right out of the gate, right? Orange dot down. Right here. All right. Here, let's get this to copy so you can see where it is on the 15 tick. F5, chart number 1. It is there. Ah, I know what the problem is. Okay. Here. There it is. So the blue line's covering this bar because you have to put it here in order to see where this bar ended. Number 2, draw a line across the point of control, the yellow dot there. Number 3, get a point of control above. You can either go with the first algo or the point of above. So the way you division that is, if you're aggressive, you go on this bar. If you're not aggressive, you wait till the point of control gets on top, 16-point stop, and you'll let it rip. That's how that works. Okay? And then for the short, what you need for the short is you have to have this. So you'll see on the short it traps some traders, right? Which is why the short is hard. Right there. You got the point of control underneath. If you shorted it, that was a 15-point stop. Obviously, if you're going to short, you want everything to be like perfect, right? So you'd really want this tucked up right up at the high, not 4 or 5 bars, particularly when it's an open drive higher. Now, if we're trending down, that's a different story. But you want this bar to get tucked up right up at the high, right? And then the next thing I'd like to see is I'd like to see this bar get retested and fail to break, or fail to get a point of, specifically fail to get a point of control above. Next bar down becomes my short on that. If I get that, and that's really the entirety of my 2 cents. This thing's going up on fumes, right? Which is all right. That's not a judgment on the quality of the rally or whether it can rally or not rally. It's just, you know, everyone looked at it. We're already in trend up, and they all pile in thinking, oh, here comes the next new high. It happens when we're breaking new highs for the year that everyone piles in right at the open, right? What we really want is a down open for that to trigger for the long without being in an open drive lower condition, right? And then swing it back up. It's harder when you're trying to grab it when it's already continuing. We're already up 126 points, right? And so we want to see it reset to some degree, come down below the 4th channel, get set back up, and then I'll start popping trades in, right? You don't have to make your money in the first 30 minutes. You just don't. We know exactly what we're looking for. And again, I need to jump to my chart really quick, my other chart. So this was the chart settings, data limiting, reload, recalculate. Guys, am I matching? Guys in the room, am I matching? Are we good there? I agree with what Ed said there. Randy, am I matching you? Close? Off by 2 points. Reload, recalculate. How about now? Fifteen's off. 5, limiting. Okay. Reload, recalculate. Reload, recalculate. Reload, recalculate. Reload, recalculate. Okay, so ES, ES. Oh, I have way too many days on this. Then let me see here. Oops, wrong chart. Onto the other screen. Got nothing so far. Right? We're at the bottom of the channel. We'd like an orange dot down outside. You can also use your 24 tick to see if we get outside. You got a purple bar there, and then we'll just watch and see what happens, right? But right now, in order to go higher, I've got to clear this point of control, right? With the point of control above, you'll see you had it here originally. Right now, remember in the room, some of you need to be outside the fourth channel to take that trade, right? And then make the distinction. So what I'm going to do on that trade, since it's before 8:30 and before econ, is I'm just going to trade that with one contract if it closes above. So you're also going to end up with an apex trap. This was apex trap number 1. Again, this is 8:30 in the morning. You've got to expect stops, right? This is apex trap 1. This is apex trap 2. And I will limit at 50.75. So let's just call it 51. Nothing happened here. Nothing's happening there. Huh. But that's still weird. Right. Oh, I'm locked. Domes are locked. There we go. That'll help. Obviously pull the 50.75, no trade. Had to get above that. Oh, and I see when I reloaded, recalculated. Here was your short. Sorry, missed it. Right there. Point of control underneath, or the algo, right? Algo's aggressive. This is less aggressive, 15-point stop. And we roll. Right? Potential trap over here. Right? Again, we're just in thin air. They're if you look where we're pushing up to on the profile, we're still one timing to the upside on the 15, and we are in prior days fair pricing on the profile, which means all of this can slip. Really, the short's goal is to get it back here to 15,880 is the target back in, or to unfair pricing at 15,846. I'll just follow the profile. I know if I trade in here, I am more likely to get stopped until I get to 15,846, right? Just facts. That's still a long way to go. So they squeezed all the shorts, brought it back down, and now we'll see where they go. Potential apex trap here at 15,930.75. Again, we're in fair pricing, right? So that means, to me, that means scalp city. If this traps, your scalp is at 15,931, right? And you will need a 915 stop on that, so 16 points, right? And again, I want to reiterate, you're in fair pricing. You're at an anomaly inside fair pricing, but you're at fair pricing, right? And that's why we're just slipping through here, right? But we have no long trigger, so that's cool. And I don't think we can close back in at this point. Now we definitely can't. So now your next target becomes this guy right over here. So we'd like to see it trade below 07 and then pop back in. And they're trying for the double bottom there from 830, which that's cute. If you took that apex trap up there, you did get stopped. I didn't. We'd really like to see that 05 quarter trade and then trap back in towards the econ. And just so you'll know, we're 1 minute until our no trade zone. Guys, on YouTube, we don't trade in that last 10 minutes because it is stop out city. It's 8:50, no trade till after 9 o'clock for me. So guys, any questions in the room? And you can see I've run 0 trades. It's a 150 to start with. It's at 150 now. And I will not trade in that 10 minutes. Yes, sometimes it can be profitable, but there's an abundance of stop outs in this time frame. And so we just relax. And now you got to assume it's reversed to open drive lower. So if you look, everyone originally at the open, try to get them to fail like they did yesterday. They squeezed them out, right? And now they're running them back down, and now we'll see. And this is while you wait for your opportunity. So I'm not taking this trade because of the time frame I'm in, but I'll denote it how it should lay out. I am not trading it, even with one contract. That's long right there at 98 against the low. I'm not taking it. But your long was here. Stop is here. Point of control over here. And orange up, double down, in fourth channel. That's usually good for 10 to 15 points. In this 10-minute window, it can stop. You also have the point of control above, right over here. And what you really want to see is a pink bar up here, right over here on the right. And you got a blue dot on the 24. Watch them run it all the way back up into the number, and I'll be just like, that sucks. But I hate getting stopped in that 10-minute window, so I just have to wait. ECB speaker right at 10 o'clock, by the way, guys. So the whole key to making the money, right, is avoiding the potholes that kill you, right? There's your pink bar. Bye-bye. And all you have to do on that rule is just go, you either respect the rule or you don't. That's all there is to it. It made sense that you'd get a bounce from there. The algo said you'd get a bounce. I have too many stops between 9:50 and 10 o'clock, or 8:50 and 9 o'clock, depending on both of those time frames on Central Time. And I can just live without getting that trade. There's enough during the day to get paid with without having to take the places where I would get stopped. But that's exactly how the process works, picture perfect. If you take that time, all you have to put in the rule is I accept the stops that will occur in that time frame, right? That's all you have to do. If you took one contract there, you're now up. It's called 30 points, $600 a contract. And that's why we make money, is because we do know where to take the trade, guys. Love for them to test this guy down again with a stronger push. Randy, did that trade make sense to you, buddy? That's exactly what we covered in coaching, outside of the 950 window. Maybe Randy went for a walk or coffee break. Tasia, that trade made sense to you, right, bud? That's exactly what everyone's in the room's looking for. That's like picture perfect what we're looking for. There's no exception to that. That is what you were looking for. That's why if you get stopped 3 times on that trade and you make money 7 times, it's a 2 to 1 RR or better usually, way up there. Ed, same thing. After 9 o'clock, I'll be on regular trade size. Oh, yes, come back and test it. It's going to test it on numbers. Too bad. Put a line across there so we can keep up with it. Also, Apex Trap potentially sets up over here. They can break it, and we're still inside fair pricing. Just FYI. All the way down to 15,864, 865. On the flip side of that, this. No dice. Normally I'd say short that, but it didn't set up. And it's still 2 minutes until econ. So we'll see. We still can use the test down to that 15,898. Also, we have the ECB speaker starting, so you might want to give them a minute just to flash the headlines in front of it. I don't know that ECB, I know nothing about the ECB guys. So also remember when you backtest, right? We're just looking if it's hanky PA, because when you backtest, we don't know if there's ECB speakers or Fed speakers or any of that other stuff, right? So if you're worried about it, which I do sometimes, right? Either decide not to trade easily, lower your trade size, or you just go, okay, I'll take it and we'll live with the consequence, which I'm all right with as well. But still 2 minutes till econ. Now I would say if that bar printed down, I'd be short, but not in front of the econ. I'll let it burn the first minute of 9 o'clock, and then I'll look for setups. But normally I would say short that bar if it closes down. So it would have looked like this, right? But the econ's going to screw it up. This is the short. Tack on 16 points, so that's 30, let's just call it 32, right? And obviously, since the high is right there, what I would do is I'd move it to 32.50 to allow it to one ticket so I don't get stopped at the tick. If I were to short, and it's not outside the fourth channel. But they're probably just going to pop 9 o'clock and make the move. And there's no way I'm willing to trade on an econ. And there you go. They can't decide what they want to do. They're like, oh, it was just okay. I mean, what I'd really love for us to get down, negative 100, 200, 300, those are the best ops if they'll get them down like that, but who knows? Chop, chop, chop. It'd be nice to get out of the fourth channel. It'd also be nice to get an orange dot up here, right? So if you look at that, that moved from 15 down to 02, so about 260 a contract is what that was worth. Retesting back up in here. It'd be nice to get an orange dot up into that, but they may not pay us the courtesy. And I'd prefer the long, but we're just grinding it. We're really not even in supernova yet from the 50-cent standpoint. Agreed. Punch dot down. So now if you clear this guy, that could be the breakout because he's pressing back in. Let me see my numbers. What's the biggest number down? 260, 761, 1030. You get a pink bar up, that's likely to go. It's right in the middle of the channel. I'll just wait. I'm not going to start my day off there. But that's long, most likely. They pressed down, couldn't beat it. Pink bar up with a 15-point stop. So what that would look like. I'm just not going to start my day in the middle of the channel. So 23.13.07. Let's just say right in here. 0625 is what the stop would have to be if you take that, which I'm not. It's in the middle of the channel and we're going nowhere and there's a speaker, so I want to be at extremes. But it should hold, by the way. This low should hold here, theoretically. Right, so that's the other optional stop if you want to use less risk. Press back in again, bigger press. Just trading in the middle of that channel, and for your first trade of the day, nah, I'll wait. And in fair pricing, I'll just let them work it through. Your stop's still holding, but it either has to hit 06 to invalidate that trade. And 04 to invalidate that trade below 04. But 06 is the stop. That's the risk we've assigned to that trade. If you're willing to accept lower size, you can just adjust it for the 04 stop. But like I said, I'm not taking it. You can see I'm totally flat here. I've run 0 trades. Okay. Looking, Ronnie. Oh, you're right. Sorry. No speaker, guys. We're just stuck in the middle of the range. Thanks, Ronnie. I'm off on the speaker. There is no speaker. We're in no news territory until 2 o'clock. My bad. Still won't take it in the middle of the channel in fair pricing. I don't choose to get chopped up. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. But either way, it doesn't matter whether there's a speaker or not, right? You have 3 pieces of evidence to tell you you have lower odds of being able to make money. Piece number 1. In the middle, we're in fair pricing. We've come back to the TPO point of control. We haven't hit the volume point of control, right? Number 2, we are inside 2 days of balance, both from the 5th and the 6th, right? And from the 30th, right? That all tells me the market doesn't like to defend in this area one way or the other. I like it where the market likes to defend. Number 3, even though I have the setup and the read, I'm in the middle of chop and I do not want to start my day off with a patience trade. And Also, I'll acknowledge, like I am a little bit anxious being the first day where everyone's actually seeing the trades that I'm placing, right? And I just wrote that down. Like, would I normally have taken this, all else being equal? Maybe, right? So I just would like to start the first trade off down here outside of the channel. That's all. That's all. And now we're pressing up, back up into the high end, taking out all the stops. So if you look, this was the stop the room would have to have. This is the total stop. And if you didn't take the trade, it's all right. Now you can gather a bunch of examples of this and you can decide, do I want to trade? So now go. So now I can write, if I get this set up in the middle of the channel, inside balance, inside prior day's fair pricing, and without a clear support resistance area inside here, and I get this signal, right? Now you can grab your cameras, right? Take a picture of this so you know exactly what it looks like, right? So you do it like this, right? And now you have, write down the underneath the notes of that photo on your iPhone or Samsung or whatever you got, write down the reason you did or did not take that trade, right? I'm going to say it again. Write down the reason you did or did not take that trade, right? And then you'll have your reasoning. So did it go to profit and could have I squirmed out? Well, I risked 15 points. My entry would have been right here at, well, let's see. My entry would have been, technically it was on this pink bar right here or above the body, depending on which one you prefer, right? In which case it was this pink bar right here. I would have gone with that pink bar, first pink bar above. The body's usually good for me. 15-point stop, it survived. So your entry would have been 23.25. The most you could have gotten out of that would have been 40, which is 17 points, or a little less than 400, like $350, $360 a contract, right? Which is great. And, just like everybody else, I know this is being broadcast, so would have I taken that if no one knew I was taking that? Maybe, right? But there's two goals, right? The first goal is to get everyone, the first goal is to make me money, right? Then the second goal is to get everyone in the room consistent and profitable, right? So if someone is struggling and they told me they took it in the middle of that channel, would I go, good job? I'd go, if you're struggling, I'd kind of wait on that trade, right? Let's see this. Ed, we don't have it here. Ed and I are working on a trade. We don't have it there. We don't have it here either. And you have an apex trap if that traps back in off of this guy. Oh, no, not even apex trap. This is the apex trap right here in Chopville. That's the apex trap to the short side. It's just a jumble of going nowhere. So we'll wait for it to break out. And if you're going to YOLO it in great location, right? With a great setup. Apex trap rolls us to the bottom of the channel. Too much noise in here. I don't even want to trade here anymore. That's all right. I'll wait for it. I'll get it. I'm not going to take the apex trap here again. Middle of the channel. We spent all morning here. Let's just get out of here one way or the other. All right. I'm not going to take a loss in this. Let's just pray for a breakdown. Because it'll make our day easier if it does. Dots into dots. Damn, that's a hard one to reject, but we'll wait. I'm not taking that apex trap. I know it's on process, but man, we're grinding a 40 to 10. So look at the range, 40 to 10, right? That's exactly 30 points. The average rotation in NQ is 30 points. What do I want? 60 to 90 points of rotation so I can get in and out easily and get paid. Okay, I see it going up and down. I see that you can scalp out of it for 10 each way. I understand that. But there is such a thing as identifying location that won't blow you up, right? So let's let them get out of here or not get out of here. That's apex trap again, but just too cute for my taste. There's really no one speaking because we're trading like someone's speaking. Nothing. Good, it decided to go up. But if we could have just done that outside the channel, it would have been much appreciated. I can tell you from looking at the numbers of trades that are going off, the numbers are very thin here. It's not thick participation. Which does not mean it can't go up. Does not mean it cannot go down. It just means it's thin. Too many shorts got packed in the consolidation. Break to the upside. Let's see where our exhaustion is. This is our target. Well, there's two. This target. So that would be hold on a sec. So it'll be this and this. This. Got it. And off it goes to the races. Hold on. So we can keep up with where the swings are. I will attempt a short on one contract at 945.50. One. It is it's not a trade I usually teach in the room. So you'll just have to, we'll just call this the TnP level. And so if that 945.50 prints, I will take it. One contract, 16-point stop. And smaller on the shorts than I am on the longs. Got above. Got a point of control above. No trade. No. It usually doesn't get the point of control above that green line. If it had closed above without getting the point of control above, I'd still be good to go on the 50.75. But now I'm not. I'll just have to wait. Oh, but you know what I got? Here. They pushed. If you're looking for the short, it's now underneath here. So, sorry. Two different processes. There you go. That's the other. So point of control back in underneath, or we push up over here. Let's see, the magnetic number I'm looking for over here is 1592. No dice there. Wow, that kind of sucks on the long. Had the setup, but that would have been so nice that they just would have pushed it below the fourth channel. Looks like we're going to retest the high. And if you're long only, here's what you can do on your brain. Relax, right? You don't have to sit there and stress. Do some breathing exercises. Read a book. You got to get all the way below 15,934, right? Ed, we're looking for that thing up here again with that number. So actually, technically, if this prints down to 65.75, it's short. All right, I'll do that with a one contract, uno. 65.50. I have it at 65 and a quarter just to make sure the bar prints. The algo that does the range bar prediction is a little hanky. You have to get it just past it. And what you also want, so even if I got short here, I need to get back past this, right? And then shorting is the harder side, which I'm sure I'm about to find out, right? So the other thing you'd like to see is an orange dot up, preferably out here. We don't have that yet. And I would like to see them one ticket above the swing high there, which they probably will. Order still in place. There's the orange dot up. That would be wonderful if that would print. And this will be for a scalp. Short. Oh, sorry, wrong button. I'll reshort it. 63 and a quarter. Stop goes 80. 63, 73, 78. I hate that stop. Oh no, it should be 65. Sorry, 65, 75, 80. 80 is the stop. I only did one contract, so there's not exactly a lot for me to hang my hat on here. Let's see how long this takes. I did one contract because I'm totally unconfident that it'll actually roll to the downside. And I won't add to this trade, by the way. Backside test to that. Come on. I don't even know if I'll get 10 points on this. See, I knew I'd be anxious when I did it in front of everybody. And that's all right. And then that also sets up a potential apex trap for my apex trap traders. I'm going to close above, and I will take that as well if it sets up. Shorting much harder than longs, by the way. Ronnie, I hear you, buddy, but it's inside fair pricing on consolidation and nowhere, right? So I pointed out the trade. I have no problem with it. I just don't like trading and chopping. Like I said, I knew on my first day that I did this where everyone's watching that I was going to have a tougher time, which is all right. I don't care. But I knew I'd have a tougher time mentally just taking the trades. Yeah, Ronnie, what size footprint is that? Because I don't have the same pick you do, which is all right. to have IB high and IB low to compete with. And it looks like I'm going to get stopped on that trade, which is totally fine. You know why? Because when that trade works, it dumps for 50, 60 points. They're going to get that stop. I'm almost positive. By the way, for you those who watch on YouTube, I don't move my stops. Once they're in, they're in. Unless there's a time component where I just go, it's taking too long, but yeah. There's a stop. You can see the P&L there. And no big deal. This sets up for apex trap, by the way. No, it doesn't anymore. There is no apex trap. Yep, that's what it looks like for me too. He has different data. It's all right. And that's why I did that with one contract. Longs always larger size than shorts. Pushing super hard here. There's prior day's high. And that looks like what they're trying to grab. And that really sucked how that started with no pressure to the downside. Like we got down there, all we needed was a little push below the fourth channel. Oh, you get the point of control underneath. I'll attempt that again with one. Right. Oh, point of control below. I'll take that. Okay, so I took 88. I'm going to do the exact same thing from that 88. I'm going to put on technically it would have been from here. Right. 30, 83, 93, 90, 83, 93, 98, 99. And I'm actually going to adjust that by 1 and put it at 1602 because I know that 1600 acts as a magnet. But I should not, it really should not get above this here. And if it does, it's a busted trade. Again, same single contract here. Not trying to set any records. And I understand. So look, so see what I'm doing? It's grinding up. It's busted out to a long move, right? See how I'm shorting? I'm not putting on 3, 4, 5 contracts. Put on one contract. I'm going to go, let's see if this works, right? I see no rotations to the downside. Putting on small size, right? If I get stopped again, it's like what? $300 at worst case scenario, right? $300 worst case scenario, right? I'm not trying to reinvent the entire wheel, right? And that's why I say, if you look at how hard the shorts are, like see how easily the longs worked off those? So now look how hard the short is getting on this trade, right? Very, very difficult, okay? Very, very difficult on this, right? So now I'm just going to wait patiently, right? That's all I'm going to do, wait patiently. And if it stops, it's okay. This way I don't bury myself on the long side, right? And I'll wait till it comes down, gets outside the fourth channel, and look for a setup on the other side. Right? That's all I'm going to do. And I'll just sit and wait here patiently. And so now I've got a decision to make, right? Do I take my 4.5 points I have on this trade, or do I let it extend for the normal 10 to 15? I don't want to start scalping for 4 points. I would normally expect 10 points because of the market we're in. We're a grinder. So I'm going to be patient. What allows me to be patient? Smaller size, right? Randy, I'm pointing this out to you. When it's hard, right, and you don't have a clear read on it, you don't have to do 2, 3, 4 contracts and have it like, oh, it's destroying my day, right? Just do one, pat it, get a flavor for which way it's going. Are there any rotations? Like instantly, I can tell you now that I'm in it, wow, look at that. There's no rotations down. I'm waiting for them to break it out or break it down to the downside, right? Secondly, long is my preferred way to trade, right? And if it works for me, fantastic. If it stops me again, I'm down a couple $100, right? And there's nothing that says I can't blow this up. I could blow this up, but I'm not going to blow it up here. I'm going to wait for my longs. I saw where they occurred. I wanted it outside the fourth channel. I'm just going to have to live with that, right? I'm just going to have to live with that idea that I wanted to get outside the fourth channel, and also I'm at 930, and I'm going to have to compete, by the way, with the IB high, IB low stat, which I forgot about. So now I need to think about it. Hopefully it takes a little dip here before taking out the IB high. It'd be nice to get some rotations. I'm just going to take it here. I'll wait till afterwards. So now you see on my P&L, right, I'm down $200, right? I gave it a chance to roll. It didn't roll. I know I'm getting hung up here at 930, and I know that IB high is likely to get tested right up here. So I'll see if they can test up, break, trap back in, roll it back down, right? Or maybe we test the prior day's high. I'm on the weaker side of the trade, right? I gave it a few minutes to see if it would retrace. They can't get past the 81. They've knocked on the door a couple of times. They can't get past it. It's okay, right? I'm not going to sit there and bang my head, get anxious about, oh, I'm down $200 and everyone's watching. I'm cool. And believe me, I'll do it the other way around. When I have them nailed to the cross, so to speak, I'll put 4 or 5 contracts in on that thing and rip them the other way, but not under this circumstance, right? So I have an arsenal and I can choose how to deploy it, right? Like that should have broken pretty hard right there and it didn't. And it's okay. As we get closer to Christmas, the moves are going to become a little bit different, would be the word I would use, right? So let them work out the different part. Technically you would set up short again at 15, 9, 80, 75. Let's hope they busted into 930 so we don't have to deal with that. Now you wouldn't. That bar couldn't print, so that trade's off the table. We need, now it's just a point of control underneath here. So I just need a purple bar or a POC underneath with a 15-point stop. Let's hope they just tag, if they don't break that high, right after 930 we break it and then we get underneath. Oh, there's 930, let's break it. Come on, break it. Don't not break it. Come on. Y'all have the juice, it's thin, just pop it over. So Ronnie pointed out what he was using was the unfair pricing from the overnight. I don't like to use the overnight unfair pricing and balance, right? So for Ronnie, that was a fine trade. For me, it wasn't. And I'm okay with that. Ronnie's welcome to take that trade all day long, right? Ronnie's a big boy, right? He'll deal with it, okay? I have zero issue with him taking that. That's where it comes down to the finer little nuances of how are you going to do a trade, right? So right now we need a point of control below 85, There we go. IB high broken. Satisfied. Let's see what she does now. Let's see if they make a run for the 16.1150. What was the number on that? That'll be an apex trap back in at the 90.75. I'll wait to get below the point of control. How do I want to do this? Stack 1, stack 2, break of IB high. Ed, am I missing a pattern here? I don't think I am. Oh, that's short right there. Damn, it didn't push back up. Come on, push back up. Well, I'm not short yet, as you can see. I'll take it there. Short 84.50, stop at the high. One contract. I need to get below this one too. Again, the shorting can be a beast, which is why I'm doing it one contract at a time with no momentum to the downside. I'd look for a retrace back to the mid or back to the bottom of the channel, either one, but roughly looking like this. Trading one's always harder, but you know, the question is, they come take out the high first or they fail on that, and then we get back to the 50 retrace is right at this 955. 62 is just at the bottom of the fourth channel, and then we see what's what. And if it stops me, I know the short side is harder, right? That's why I'm doing it on one contract. I can stop shorting, right? Then I just sit here and do nothing. That's all right. Watching the numbers back up. 27.49. We'll see. And this is how you get where you short and you don't have to trade so much that everything counts on the trade being perfect or working. Why? Because I know I want the long side trade, right? I want them to sell it off, right? But the sell off is harder to get than you think it is, even with good signals, right? The sell off's harder to get than you think it is, okay? And if that goes for me as well, and this is a great demonstration of why. All those longs earlier, remember when it was longs, even at a mediocre location, middle of the channel, they all lifted to give you 10, 12, 15 point scalps. This, right, I'm short. I'm actually shorted halfway decent location. I'm outside the, or at least I was outside the channel. When I get the setup, I have an apex trap, right? And I'm still struggling to get any traction, like any quick rotation to the downside where I go, oh, I got 10 points. Like the other one, I was just lucky where I went, they're not rolling it before 9:30, so I flatted it. Right? But even with all that, look how hard I'm working to get it to go 10 points in my favor, right? Whereas on those longs, even with shitty location, right, we were getting lifts almost immediately. And that tells you a lot, right? That's that. Okay, Ronnie, thanks. Anyways, if this stops, I will pause on the shorts, which is fine, and I'll wait for the pullback, or I'll wait till it clearly shows a break. But I won't cover it, not because there's just no point to it. There comes the stop. You know, even at the stop, if it comes up, it's a great demonstration of why the short is so hard, right? Very good demonstration of why the short is so hard, right? It just beats you up. I'm at 02.25, by the way, on the stop, just FYI. And they're probably going to take it right now. And they just did. Okay? It's a great demonstration of why mediocre longs and that puts me down to 149.424.98. I don't have to skedaddle or do anything super important, right? And they broke that with a 45.40. But they got the point of control above. Point of control above. Ronnie, it's a great point. Thank you, sir. It is hellish. They're trying. They got to break this now. Bonnie pointed out a good point. He's like, Simon, you almost never short, right? So he's like, why are you doing it? He goes, it may just be from trading live in front of other people. So valid point on his part. What a drag to get a grinder like this. They couldn't break the high. They tried. Push back up. Hey Ed, you will need a very small number on this to get the resulting. If that 1675 prints, it won't take much if we can get them to print. If we can get them to print 1601 and then get a down bar, that would be a strong short setup. After taking out IB high and failing to get to prior day's high, which is what everyone must have been targeting. Just FYI. See if they can do it. It's been a really quiet morning. And again, see how so guys, okay, fine, here. So here, I'll say exactly what, you're serious, Ronnie? Here's what Ronnie said. Hey, Greg, Ronnie, where are you? Ronnie. Okay, Ronnie said, Simon, your taking live is super hard. You're trading shorts while you're saying you're against the trend, contradictory. You don't have to trade for people to see, in my opinion. Just take the higher odds. I know if this fails, CNA gives lots of points, but lower odds, in my opinion. And then he goes, why take the lower quality trades? He goes, if you lose money, people are just going to bitch. He goes, when you make money, they praise you. So, okay, that sounds like a simple enough formula. I'll wait for the long. No problem. It was on one contract. It's not exactly like I've buried that account. Come on. You want that number to print up. You want that 160075 to print up to exhaust this thing without breaking the high. And then maybe we can get some relief to the downside. Come on, you can do it, man. Thanks for keeping me in check, Ronnie. And by the way, ending up the day down 500 and something dollars in that account, let's say that's the last trade I get, totally acceptable. Just FYI. Come on, press that 16075. You can do it. Take it. Here it comes. Just a few ticks away. Got it. Now, if we try 15990.75, we should roll lower. I'm not going to take the short there. I'll wait for the long to set up. But yeah. That 9075 sets up the short, just so you know if it prints. No sellers. Look at that. Just what a bummer of a market. You have to motivate someone to sell. And now you have this. So pointing control underneath. That's 1, 2, 3 pushes as well. So the 90-75 still makes sense. Again, I would do it small because the way they're doing it is they consolidate up here. If you look yesterday, like at that 12:30 consolidation, this is just what we're doing. We're sitting here, we're trapping low and we're trapping high in the exact same fashion. I won't short this at Ronnie's prodding, but if we had any rotations, I'd be all over it. Here comes that 10 minutes till where everyone's going to try and push it into the last top of the hour in front of London close. See if they can finally push 1150. See, they had to get that 90-75 down or it's nothing. And here's the thing, we'll all change our mind in one mass group idea. We're like, oh. Notice no freak out over being down, right? I don't have to make it up in 2 seconds. I don't have to get it fixed today. Just wait till my next high out setup. And if I'm stuck with this trend day up, then I made a bad decision even shorting ones because I'm down and I'll just have to wait till it recycles. But who thinks it won't recycle at some point? It may not recycle this morning. I'll have to wait till tomorrow, but that's okay. And those setups I took, by the way, were on process, right? Shorts just harder than longs. That would be a short in my book. but not in moving. I mean, I'm not short. There's no position. You can see it's locked there at 14.9, 424.08. I am not shorting it. There's no rotation, but yeah, I'm pretty good with that right there. But that almost never happens right there, where it flips back up, so we'll see. Choppity chop chop. That is the other way to use that area. I'd agree with that. The best way to do it is just wait till it gets down to the fourth channel by hook or crook. But man, this is no fun. This feels like trading Christmas Day or something. Christmas Eve. We made a move and we stopped. They sure are trapping a lot of buyers up here. That's for sure. Let's see where the control is up here. Underneath the 992. Underneath that point of control. Orange dot down underneath that probably releases it. Orange dot down underneath that probably releases that on the footprint. Again, I want everyone to notice how there's no race, to recover that money, right? The down 500 and change, right? It'll come to me. Don't come to me today. It'll come to me tomorrow, right? There's not a race to recover it. I had my chances this morning on the long side, and I chose not to take those setups, right? And then I chose to take the short, which is always the harder setup, right? That's where I'm at on that account, and that's okay. And I knew I'd have a hard time trading in front of everybody the first time like that. So, totally cool. But this is like Asia at like 11 o'clock at night or 10 o'clock at night. It's horrible. It's sub 30-point rotations. back to that point of control. Come on, man, you can do it. So where I'm at a disadvantage here is I can't scalp out of the damn thing like I normally would, but that's all right. I'm going to show you all how to get them qualified without doing that. I can tell you this, there's a lot of people pushing for that high. 1 minute till 10 o'clock, expect some algos. The shorts really don't want that O2 to print again. And they are toast. Or not. Wow. Talk about an unfun market to trade. Like, break it down, break it up, do something. Well, we know where the wall is. Now you need below that 84. That's the last guy that pushed. Let's redraw this. So we can decode these guys. $92 is the POC of that whole consolidation. It's just awful consolidation, Ronnie. Like this is just we've narrowed down to a 18-point range. So it's building energy for a break, and whichever side it breaks on will be significant. Is the answer to the question, basically. Whichever side the break comes from will be strong. Just like yesterday at that 10:30. Yeah, I'm not doing anything, Xavier. It's taking too long. I'm just gonna wait, let it reset. It's less than ideal trading conditions, like by a couple 100 million miles. It's just too slow, buddy. This is where you get. So can I coach you up real quick, Xavier, in front of everybody? Is that all right? Yeah. In terms of location, and because of the trade of the rotation, this is a D minus. Why? Look at the rotation, 08 to 80. That's 28 points. The average rotation in NQ over the course of over a decade now is 30 points. By the time you get that entry that you're looking for, right, it might break or it might not break, right? But because there's no 50, 60, 70 point rotations, you're just as likely to get in, have it rotate back to the top of that consolidation, stop you out, just like I did earlier, same exact thing, and then get stopped out. So what I would do in that situation is exactly what I am doing. Let it go, especially because you're trying to qualify those Apex accounts, right? Don't don't trade markets that don't pay you easily because you're not in that position. You're not sitting on $50 million and going, I'm going to short 10 contracts, and if it doesn't break the high, I'm good, and if it does, oh well, right? You're in a position of I need to make money, right? Just like almost everybody in the room, right? So when you see that thing go down to 18 points, right? Like right now, see if you would have, let's say you shorted, it got below, and then it just, what does it do? Bounce right back, right? So don't get caught up in that. That's how you look at your environment. Before you look at the algo, look at the environment. I'm really grateful Ronnie stepped in because I kind of got locked. It's the first day I'm kind of doing this on YouTube with a live account, and I kind of got locked on process without evaluating environment, right? So you're doing the same thing. You're locked on process without evaluating environment. What I would say to you is I would let it go. Is what I would do. And then wait. And then certainly if you're going to try a hard trade, try it on the long side, not on the short side. Market's at a new high for the year. Here, I give you my reasons. Market's a new high for the year. We can't break. We can't break below prior day's low. Constant resilient buyers. You're looking for the dip to get long, right? And that's the hard part because you may run out of time before it gives you that trade, but that's what you're waiting for, right? It's what we're all waiting for. So, and then you just kind of go, that's too bad. It's not my environment. It sucks, but that's what you do. Or you do it so small, that it has no impact on you, right? But why burn the mental capital? I did. I burned on 2 trades and I said, you know what, I got to stop. And I'm glad I did. Well, actually, Ronnie said I got to stop, but I'm glad I did. Yeah, please do. You'll get those accounts qualified, man. I promise you. We'll have good markets. But 18-point rotation in NQ does not qualify as a good market. Now, I want to show everyone how awesome a trader I am. I want to get that thing up $2,000 today, right? Or $600 at least. And instead, I'm down $500. But that desire still can't override trading properly. It's just awful. We're just trapping buyers up here, but they're taking forever to figure out they're trapped. And if they don't get above that 1612, they are screwed. But they're pushing hard for it. You got to give them credit. And if you're going to trade this, you got to do the opposite, Xavier, which isn't in our process, which is you got to short the edges and hope it doesn't break, which is even maybe more nerve wracking, at least with size. Just see how we dance around that point of control. See how much volume is up there. And so now that 92 is just a crap area. Where's my coffee? Hey, congratulations, Ian. That's a good job on increasing your size. Doesn't that suck to do all the work? You know, this is a serious point. Like when you come in committed to increasing your size, you know, when you come into increasing your trade size, right? And you it's very hard to regulate that emotional part that says, "Yeah, I'm ready." And then the next thing you happen is you got nothing to do. That sets a lot of people on tilt. I can tell you I've coached easily more than 10 people that have done exactly that. They go in, they increase trade size, and then they get nothing. Potential super trap on that, on this guy over here, if we break the high, and then we trap back in on this guy right here. Oh, they didn't have the gas. They tried to go for that high. That's just a regular apex trap right there. They should have gotten that high. They're coming back for it. There's that high. And everyone goes, rut-row, apex trap, super trap, short side. I'll pass. But man, look at that. Ronnie, did you take that one? They couldn't break the high. They came right to it. And they immediately found sellers. Now back to the dance area. That's classic. Now watch them all be jumbled in there and roll it out of the blue. They'll just bam, break nonstop. That's predicting the market, by the way. It was really quick, and that's exactly what you're anticipating, Xavier, is that they see how much energy they put in to get up there. Okay, so now, see how you have the orange dot now? That's the first time. You want the point of control below that point of control now, right? And then it falls away. That's how that should work. It should, how it should work. Oh, will it work that way? I don't know. But you sure trapped somebody up there. And who buys that long? I guess somebody. Back to the 50. Point of control below. Back to the bottom of the consolidation. And good night. You needed the orange dot down below that point of control. That's what released it. No, that's pretty classic. if you look at it, Ronnie, I'll show it to you later. That's a pretty classic pattern where they went in and see how they finally got the close above the high on that bar after pushing. But then see how sellers came in right at the 1150, right? So the only thing that would have been better if it would have gotten above and below the 1150. But that's pretty classic pattern. And now they're going to try and save it at the bottom of that consolidation, which is natural, right? If you're looking at it and you're a new trader, you're like, okay, well now we're going to go back up and take the high, right? Which they might. But now it's starting a megaphone pattern too, see it? Which is good, we need it to expand. Look, this is that's the fulcrum. Now it looks like this. And it'll just keep, if you extend that out into space. Hell, I didn't use an arrow, but if you extend it out, it'll keep bouncing from side to side through there till it picks a way it wants to go. You know, guys, I like this recording on YouTube. Anyone can go back in. Now, like, I can tag this for chop at the high and use it to teach people when I'm trading what it looks like. Like, that was freaking almost an hour of consolidation, right? So I can teach, now I can use that for what a consolidation break looks like. And the cool thing is it's not taking any resources off my machine. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful break. And so the other lesson here is I used up all my bullets trying to short where I didn't catch it. There was no rotation when I could have come in either over here on the apex trap, right? Or on the failures up over here. And at least I would have been able to scalp out of those trades. So even in the loss, there's things that I can regain education-wise. And now we're beyond the fourth channel, right? So just go back. Don't overthink it, right? Just go back to your process. The only thing I'd wait for, we'd say this is the first break down from the high. Wait for a pushback and one more pushback before you start getting aggressive on the trades. So Xavier, do you hear me on the Xavier and Tasia, right? So see how this is the first wave down off the high? Good night. That's the first one off the high, right? So now we want to go and so now what we want to do is one of two things: either 50-60 retrace back into that 92, or but what you want to do here. So see now how we're extended. This is normal. We built up buyers, built up buyers, built up buyers. Now complete release. And where's the target back? Back to the 50-60, which is what this is right here. I need to adjust it slightly. Okay, and what's happened? Everyone got trapped in up there. So now you're beyond, right? So now you're beyond. So now what do you want? You have the potential for a apex trap on this guy. I'd call that B because it really wasn't an apex per se. But you can apex trap on that guy right there. If we can get below the 50, we're into the 62 retrace, right? Or see a hard push down. What we'd like is an orange. Really what we want is orange dot down, get above the point of control, and now do a 50-60 back to that 92. Or plan B, let him bounce it, get the second wave down, and then get aggressive on the dots to go back the other way, is what I would say. There's your orange dot. Pink bar above, and I'll be long. Or POC above. Sorry. Need a POC above 15,943. So limit 4975. Maximum times to take is 2 times. So I'm already in at 4975 and waiting. It has to be a positive bar above. I have my limit sitting at 4975. I'm fine if it doesn't trigger. And again, this is the A leg down, so you can wait for the B leg down if you'd like. You have higher odds of this stopping than getting it off the CD leg, right? So that's AB, CD, but we're at the 62 retrace. It's a logical place to get a response. It's going to be a blue dot up as well. Again, 4975. And I do not like this trade, but I'm just following process. I actually do not like this trade. But I'm just going to follow process, and it'll take me where it takes me. I would point it out on any chart, anywhere in there. If I was coaching someone, I'd point that setup out to anyone who I was coaching and go, see, that's the long with the point of control above with a 15-point stop. But did not trigger. Funny how when someone's watching you, it feels a little uncomfortable. You know that? And of course, it's right before that London close. Let's see if they'll take it down one more time. So the plan is if it stops and then there's no apex trap there. Oh, and that 51.25 would be an apex trap off to the left, right? Yes, it would. Can't get it. Funny how they defend. So let's call 50 minus 16, which is 35.34. I'll either take my hiccups or I won't. Targeting 60 for scale. That damn, oh no, that's all right. And if it stops me, it stops me. But that would suck. And then I'm going to go back to that whole do I trade at London, the bottom of the hour or not thing. But it's fine. If you need to adjust to make sure the swing holds, it's fine. I'm just going to leave it with a 16-point stop. That's the formula, 2 times. And this is trading through uncomfortability, right? And waiting for the target, right? Both of those things are uncomfortable to do. Again, 60 is my target for scale. And I am already laid up there. Didn't get it. 58. Come on, one more shot. Guys, I'm going to flatten right here, 56. Took it out early. We're bumping up. I don't know why I have this level marked up, but we're bumping up against it, and I'm anxious trading in front of everybody. I'm going to have to work on that. Okay? I took that off. You can see I'm back to 149.66, and I'll see if I regret it or not. I would never tell anyone to do that, but damn. I wanted it to fly out of there, and it didn't. I'll see if I'm wrong. I apologize. I knew it would change my trading a little bit. Oh, Simon. I did it wrong. Sorry, guys. Fudge. I don't know what it is about people watching me when I trade live. I've always had this bug. I'm going to have to work on it if we're going to do this. I'm going to help everybody. But Randy, are you there in the room, buddy? That is exactly what I want you to do. See how I didn't want to take that trade? Yeah, see how I didn't want to take that trade, Randy? I didn't want to take it. I didn't want to hold it. Like, at all. Like, I hate that 10:30 spot, right? I hate that 10:30 spot. But see how I just took it? That's the exact trade I coached you on yesterday when we were going through our session, right? I was like, you just got to take it whether you like it or not, right? Right. I look at that and I go, man, we're going right into London close and I'm taking this trade, right? So see how I said when I asked you to go back and do you mind if I talk a little bit about what we talked about in coaching before I violate that? Damn, look at that, Simon. Pissed off at myself. That's all right. Okay. I was telling Randy was struggling. He's like, man, I'm not getting these accounts qualified. I was like, man, outside the fourth channel, you get orange dot down and then you get it trapped. You got to push that trade, right? It'll even feel uncomfortable. So like Ed, when I'm talking to you or Randy or Xavier, like I see those trades set up and all that's screaming in my head, 30 years of experience, dude, you're going long the A leg down, right? You're going long AB, right? And I want to go long CD, but that's wrong, right? The algo tells me that's wrong. The wrong says get above that orange dot and you go long, right? And now the next one is if we can test back into this bar and it fails to get a point of control underneath and reverses back up, that's the second long there. If that happens, right? So, but then I took it and I was like, man, the whole world's freaking watching me. And instead of being positive on the day, right, I had 2 contracts. So that would have been, where'd I go long? 50 to 65 for 15 points, right? Right, and a 60% retrace, right? So it's 20 points now on 2 contracts, $400 per contract, $800, and I'm still down on the day, right? I waited. So when you're wondering yourselves, like when I'm coaching you, go, Oh, I took two mediocre trades. Then when the good trade didn't come along, I didn't take it. Well, I experienced that too, right? There's a lot of things that throw me off. Now, if the market's fast, I tend to be fine. It doesn't bother me. But slow like this, where it's a down, 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 stop, reverse, very hard. But for me mentally to do it, and then I add that I know people are watching me on the P&L, right? So my for my own performance, this is so. But even with all that, this is good. Why is it good? Now it's 20 points that I've left on the table. Why is it good? Because I see where the holes are in my psychology and in my game readiness, right? And I can go back and work on it. It shouldn't bother me if someone's watching me or not, right? I just got to go, it is what it is. So what am I afraid of? I already wrote it down. Well, I'm afraid the whole freaking world's watching me live and I goof it or I do something that I didn't say they should do in the room, right? And I goof it, right? And that wears on you, right? That wears on you when you're trying to make those decisions. And so when someone goes, well, I don't understand why I didn't take this trade. So Randy, going back to you, right? Same thing with you, guy. If I was coaching y'all in session, I go, did you enter the trade at 50, right? And then if you're going to tell me no, I'm going to hammer you. Why didn't you take it? And you take it for 10, 15, and 20, right? And get paid, or take it for 20, right? Push for that 20 or accept the stop. Well, I didn't do any of that either right now, right? So I need to write down the factors that are going on in my head and make the pivot and adjust to that, because otherwise, right now I'm up almost 30 points on that trade, right? That's $1,000 and the account's up $500-600 on the day. Right. So now, but don't punish yourself for it. Go back and make the adjustment back in, Randy. Go back and adjust back in and go, this is how I'm going to do that next time. And also envision that trade having stopped, because that's where it catches you, right? So we have about a 68 to 75% win rate, right? So let's say you say, okay, I screwed that one up. I'm going to take the next one, right? So this happens to almost every person I coach, right? You take this trade, right? You take this trade and you goof it. You take the next trade and it stops. I know it's just the trading live thing, Ronnie. I goofed it all the way across the board, but I'm okay. Don't cry for me, Argentina or Colombia or Venezuela. Just come back and do it right. And then the other part, and this is important, the other part. So now it's 35 points I've left on the table. Brilliant, right? So here's the other part that's important, right, guys? Nice, Ed. Dude, high five, man. Great extension. That's a 50-point extension, right? Or a little bit less because you waited for the trigger. I'll get over the trading live thing. It's just bugging me at the moment. Nice guy. Plus 1,200 on the day. Good guy. You can do it, man. Nice work, dude. $30's fine, brother. $600 a contract. And Simon's left 40 points on the table. But that's okay. I'll get it better. And this isn't my ideal market, and there we're back into that. By the way, back. You think someone in London wanted to sell? We're back into the point of control of that whole grind up there. Look at that rip, man. Talk about thin markets, right? Ronnie, did you get anything either way? Yeah. Did you take the long is what I'm asking you, Ronnie. And the shorts gets closed out for 50 points. I won't get that one back. That's a heartbreak. That is heartbreak. Wow, that was pretty big police brutality run there. Shorting's got to be the hardest thing in this business. Can you imagine, Ed, if you decided that was your short and it wasn't coming back? Wouldn't you just be pissed right now? Well, guys, that concludes my morning. I certainly can't make it on YouTube. I certainly can't do better than that. We had pretty good read. I went off a little. I knew my first day trading live would be a little bit difficult in terms of trading in front of other people, but that's all right. I knew that was coming. Oh, you were trying to get the. So you're long then, right? I'm confused, buddy. Then you got it. That's a good job. Good job. Nice job, Sean. Way to get paid. Wow. That's hard to predict those V's. But we had the entry, that's for sure. Shame on me for not getting it right. You get below that double POC, you should roll back down there, by the way. When they're parallel like this, if you get back underneath them. And they should also be able to take out that high and grab those stops there, too. Dude, I left a 60-point trade on the table because I got so anxious mentally. That's okay. Sean, great job, dude. Great job, man. Super happy for you. The process definitely works, Randy. I agree. I know, Ronnie. I'm just having a hard day. The first day where I wanted to be able people to be able to see my P&L, right? And that's fine. They can. I don't have a problem with the end result. It's just, yeah, it's fine. And you got the double dots up off the orange dot down too. That will go into the that'll go into the journal, the good old journal about how I could have done that better. The important thing here, see how it ran away. So here's what I see a lot of. You're on different data. So Xavier, go check. Make sure you're under symbol. Go to chart settings, symbol. Make sure your tick is at 0.5. You can't let it reset. You got the same orange dot up I got there. No, it's not. You got the exact same chart, dude. Look. You have two dots up, one orange dot down. Right there. It's the exact same picture. Look. Yeah, it's not different. That's exactly what I have. Xavier, your long is right above this. Right above this point of control, this orange dot. This is a different chart over here. So now. Good job, So, Xavier, did you take it or not? I choked on the trade. There's no question, man. I'm gonna have to get better. Maybe this is good for me. Good job, Sean. Let's see who else. Randy, you did a great job on that. So, Randy, can you DM me your P&L now, please? Just DM it to me. You don't have to put it publicly. Up above, so high for the breakout. Look, was there news? I mean, look, we just turned and burned. Whoever the seller was in London. No signal to short outside of the trap, and it's not a trap with a orange dot. Good job, Ian. Good job. So, Randy, right? Do you think you can do that every day? Follow that process even through the boring and wait for that trade? Because if you can, we got problem solved. And not only that, but if we just actually stay on process for our exits, man, I got so anxious at that from that time thing. Holy shit! You know, even if it's just $300 a day is 75K a year. And if we actually held the thing, you'd been up at 2K or 600 or 700, right? And see, now you don't have to go back. So let me, right now I'm going to use you as an example for a second. So Randy, you didn't hit your number. You didn't hit your number today, right? Your number's somewhere between 600 and 1,000, right? But you had the opportunity to get to 600 to 1,000, right? So now you don't go back in the afternoon and go, well, I didn't hit my number, so therefore I take mediocre trades, right? Think of all the effort, time, and emotion it took us to get to this point, right? So now step it back, draw it back, right? And go, okay, my job is really would have been to improve on that trade, right? So now I got to go back and work on that, watch the game film. It'll be on YouTube so you can watch it again, right? You can go back and look through it, all of it, right? All you guys can, and go, well, this is what I could have done to improve my game for today. And why did I exit that trade? So for me, it'd go under, I was anxious. It was right in front of that London close. And all that was going in my head was, they're going to sweep the low, apex trap it, and pop it to the upside. And you're going to look like an idiot because you're going to take the stop and have to reload, right? When you already took two bad trades in front of it, right? So all of it's fine. We'll get it fixed. Okay, thank you, Ed. Got it. Well, the only thing I'm hard on myself there is that I should have held for the 10 and 15 and 20, but you're correct. There's no way I could have known and we're going back to the high. That'd have been not accurate. Here comes for the apex trap, which I am not taking. I'm past my optimal trade window, and I'll come back and take a peek this afternoon, but even down a little bit, you know, what is that? $370. First day jitters and a great process. There's no reason to be anxious about that. So maybe one more trade this afternoon, maybe, if it sets up. But I think it's going to be time for me to go grab some lunch. Does anyone in the team have any questions? Send them to me on Slack. Orange dot down on the trap back in. That's interesting. I'm not going to short it, but that is interesting. Let's see what that is. See if we can get it. Ed, look for a stronger pushback that fails to take out the high. And guys on YouTube, I'm going to kill the broadcast now. That was the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we'll see y'all again tomorrow. Thank y'all for joining. If you have any questions or you'd like to pass to the room, you can just email me here. Zero pressure. So there you go. I'll let it run all morning, so now we can review the morning trade later on, guys.